a way of maintaining the control and the power in the situation. I think that they have to realize that there are other ways of being in a relationship. Some of the men that we work with have no concept of what it could be, what a relationship could be that would be based on equality and not using those tactics. But they have to have really a commitment. The criminal justice system facilitates their commitment to give up their violence, but we in our groups have to hold up another ideal, another model of relationship to encourage them to give up these other forms of controlling behavior. They don't want to give them up. They don't have a relationship based on love, but they are getting the control that they need through those means of relating.
Sergeant Wynn, I think we indicated that, and I think you've indicated that childhood violence and childhood abuse and child abuse has quite a bit of connections with domestic violence and family violence. Let's talk about that and some of the things that we might be able to do in order to break this cycle of violence.
Well, I think not long ago I had a class with some school teachers, Metro school teachers, and they asked me that very same question: what do we do? My answer to them was, treat these children as you would any other crime victim. This is a crime, number one. We should always remember that. And they should be treated with respect. They should be supported. They should be believed, because it's taken a lot of courage for these children. If they do tell their school teachers, let's say their teachers, that they're victims of family violence, they're taking a great risk, because they've been told that if they report this, in a lot of cases, they'll suffer the consequences. So for them to finally make that break and say, something is going on in my home, I'm a victim of family violence, I'm a victim of physical or sexual abuse, I'm a victim of emotional abuse, they should be treated with respect and treated like crime victims. And at that point, if the teacher makes an assessment that they've got a true crime victim, then the police should be called. We should be called to investigate those cases where that child is in jeopardy.
Now, this is just not a personal kind of thing in terms of what goes on in the home is really no concern of the authorities and et cetera.
No, I tell you that the cast-off to this, the impact on children, it's an amazing thing it does to children. You know, a child who's a victim of family violence is 4 times more likely to be arrested by me as a policeman compared to children who are not abused, either physically or emotionally. A child doesn't have to actually be physically abused to feel the same pain and suffering and get the same long-term psychological damage that you would if you were physically assaulted. There's a lot of guilt, there's a lot of shame, there's a lot of embarrassment. It just shortens the lifespan of a childhood and turns that child into an automatic survivor, where he has to be a survivor from there, or she has to be a survivor, rather than just live a healthy childhood. So it's an unbelievable damage on the fabric of our community.
Ms. Cannon, when you look at what is going on in Nashville and the kind of support that you're receiving, what do you think that you need in order to do what you're doing and perhaps increase your outreach? What are some of the things that our audience or others can do in order to assist you this morning?
Well, I think that a very exciting thing that's happening in the very near future is that the police department is putting together a domestic violence unit, and I think that the public support of that to our public officials would be greatly helped, a great help. You know, I think that one thing that somebody who may be hearing this broadcast, who may know someone who could be in danger, to give that person the number for the YWCA domestic violence shelter and hotline could be a very valuable thing on a very tiny piece of paper, where that victim could tuck that number away till she is ready to make that call for help.
Now all of this seems so very, very secretive, and is it that much fear involved in this whole process as far as the person who is being battered is concerned?
Yes, there is. In fact, we know that 75% of the 4,000 women who last year lost their lives nationwide as a result of domestic violence were women who decided that they were going to leave the situation, they were going to leave the marriage or the relationship, and those were the women who died. And yes, when a batterer feels that he is losing control, and that may mean a phone call to a friend, it may mean a phone call to a shelter, then he will use even greater force to regain that control that he feels that he's losing. So it's a very serious matter. Yes, it is.
Sergeant, you've indicated that